In this whole quagmire of discussion regarding racism, one thing that I've noticed is that there is a huge lack of honesty. There is a lot of disingenuousness in this whole focus on racism. So you have people on the left who are talking about removing statues. Well, this is a statue of Robert E. Lee. He was a general for the Confederacy, so we have to remove the statue. Oh, look, we found a statue of Jefferson Davis. He was the head of the Confederacy. We have to remove the statue because we just hate racism, and we have to, we have to continue on the war against racism. We have to purge the world of racism. If these people were so anti-racist, if they were so adamant and fixated on the cause against racism, then they would remove Margaret Sanger as one of their feminist icons. In the whole mythology of feminist idols, in the whole pantheon of feminism, they would remove Margaret Sanger because Margaret Sanger was a racist. Oh, here's another thing that they will never, ever do. They'll stop praising Charles Darwin. In fact, they'll stop teaching evolutionism because the whole theory of evolutionism is based on eugenics. They would stop teaching what Charles Darwin taught. They would stop praising Charles Darwin as a hero. Charles Darwin described the blacks, the Africans, as some sort of a transition from ape to the more evolved human, which was the white Anglo-European man. They would really, really stop teaching Darwinism and evolutionism if they were so obsessed with fighting racism. Right? They'll remove Robert E. Lee's statue, remove Jefferson Davis's statue. Oh, Washington. I mean, they're so legalistic. They're so just fanatical, radical about just destroying racism, right? They are just true believers, extremely zealous about the idea of fighting against racial hatred. So much so that they'll remove a George Washington statue or a Thomas Jefferson statue simply for the fact that they owned slaves, even though Jefferson was against slavery and the founding fathers said things against slavery. We have to remove their statues because they owned slaves. But when it comes to Charles Darwin, the guy who taught that blacks were basically half human, half ape, the guy who believed in eugenics, the guy who promoted the work of his nephew Francis Galton, the guy who coined the phrase eugenics, the guy who influenced Herbert Spencer, who coined the phrase survival of the fittest, the man who complained that the weak and the unintelligent are allowed to perpetuate their genes and how much of a disaster it is for humankind to allow this to take place. The man who believed that the lower races would eventually be wiped out by the superior races. Oh, we're going to teach his doctrine. You see, that's how you know all of these people who are like, oh, racism, anti-racism. These people are full of shit. And the sad fact is that when it comes to anti-racism, which we should all be anti-racism, the sad fact is that when it comes to anti-racism, it's the left that has become the icon of what it means to be anti-racism. When we think of anti-racists, we think of left-wingers. The people who have the monopoly of the face of anti-racism are on the left. They're not in the Catholic Church. They're not in the American Christian apparatus. They're not in the American conservative circles. They are in the left. And the reason for this is because the conservatives are so obsessed with immigration, they're so obsessed with being anti-left wing that a lot of them have ended up either promoting racism or completely ignoring the reality of racism, or they have promoted racists as patriots without acknowledging the fact that those people are racist. It's a very, very sad reality. But there's so much disingenuousness, so much dishonesty in this discussion And the reality is that it's just pure deception. And the left wing are using the blacks to push their own agenda of evil, of degeneracy, and of just pure darkness, really. The reality is that if the left wing ever got full power, they would kill conservative blacks. Because one thing that I've known about leftists over the years, you know, in experiencing with them, is that you can agree with them on mostly everything. But the moment you disagree with them on one thing, you are the enemy that needs to be destroyed. So a message to the people out there who aren't left-wing but want to fight racism: as long as you are working with leftists, you will never break out of this vicious cycle. Because in the left-wing paradigm, just like in the right-wing paradigm, we see the same sort of strategy. Certain bad things, with the right it's Islamic terrorism, with the left it's racism, certain bad things are used as pretexts to advance evil. And the fact is that the left wing, while they say that they're anti-racist, they promote Darwinism, they promote evolutionism, they promote abortion, they promote population control, the same sorts of things that you can find within right-wing ideologues. And if you continue on allying with these people, you will never break out of this vicious cycle. Anyway, hope you guys have learned something from this message. You guys just heard some theology. God bless.